What's up, guys? John here. A massive crisis is forming right now with lending.
U.S. banks are reporting tighter credit standards and softer loan demand.
Credit cards and banking that no one's really talking about that I think is going to change America this year in 2024. Did you know 3 in 5 Americans have revolving credit card balances?
About 1/3 of Americans will go into debt for their holiday shopping. Altogether, Americans are saddled with more than $1 trillion in credit card debt.
61% of adults have a credit card balance that goes from month to month. It's a whopping 56 million Americans as of today, January 8th. 56 million Americans have credit card debt for at least a year. Now, what I'm going to show you next is going to show you clearly where we're headed. I mean, interest rates on credit cards now, in some cases, upwards of 33% interest. I mean, loan sharks, mob bosses back in like the 50s and 60s were charging 10, 12, 14 points. These credit card companies are ripping everybody off. But consumers don't have much of a choice. When you see how this whole thing is going to really kind of unfold in 2024, it's going to be pretty shocking. I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do right now if you're in credit card debt. If you're in a situation where you don't know what to do, I'm going to share with you some really great tips and tricks and how you can pivot and move around the insanity. Because we're in right now, I believe, the great silent depression. Worse than 1929, worse than 2008. I'm going to show you why and what you can do. Please hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate other people about what's going on in America's economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for the greatest transfer of assets and the greatest wealth transfer we'll ever see, I'd love to help fix your credit. Only if you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item that's holding back your credit report and your credit score, preventing you from getting loans and preventing you from getting ahead. I'd love to give you a free strategy session by clicking the link in the description just below this video. Take a look at this. So, credit card interest rates. Interest rates climb on some retail credit cards upwards of 33%. That's absolutely insane. Now, for context, in 2007, right as the great financial crisis was kind of building up, right before it popped in 2008, interest rates on credit cards were 13.5%, 13.4, 13.4, right? In the range of, some of these other cards, like in the range of somewhere between like 13 to 15%, like on the high end. Now, everyday credit cards might be 26, 28, 29%. Retail credit cards, 30, 33%. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Now, let me show you what these numbers actually look like if you have a credit card balance. Let's just say, for example, a $10,000 balance, and you have a good credit card with 22% interest, which is today considered really good. It would be $17,000 in just interest payments alone, and it would take 11 years and 5 months to pay off. Now, if you had the same exact balance, that same $10,000 balance, but instead you're paying 14%, and you made the same monthly payment of $200, it would go from 11 years and 5 months and about $17,000 in interest to 6 years and 4 months and $5,000. So you would save $12,000 in interest and you would get out of debt, 9 years faster, right? Or 5 years faster, right? So 6 years going from 11, about 5 years faster. So you would see a massive change in your lifestyle and you'd be able to get out of debt pretty easily. But let's look at how this whole thing's going. So rents right now, rents in America. If you're renting in Florida, for example, how much do you think rents were in 2007 during peak mania in the housing market? Well, the average, one bedroom, the average, 500, 400, 500, on the range of somewhere between 500, this is the highest, 796, the highest one bedroom that we're seeing. Everything else is $400. I mean, this is unreal. This is unreal. Now you're $1,500 to $2,000 for an apartment in Florida, depending on where you're at. This one right here, $393 for one bedroom. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Most people are paying that now for car insurance in Florida. Now, if you were to look in California, if you were to even go to Los Angeles, you could rent a one bedroom for $1,000, $1,000. Now, Los Angeles, $2,800, $2,500, right? It's pretty crazy. So when people say we're not in a silent depression, we're not in a silent recession, or depression, you have to ask yourself, how do rents triple? How do interest rates on credit cards double? Food prices basically tripled, but yet wages are not moving. If anything, they're softening. You have to ask yourself, are we going to walk into a situation where consumers can actually afford this? I don't think so. In fact, I think we're going to start to see a lot more credit card defaults and people just throwing in the towel. That's what I think is going to happen. People are going to prioritize food and survival over paying back their credit card companies. And look at this. As the holidays approach, many Americans are seeing a drop in their available credit lines. Credit limits are set by credit card companies to keep customers from spending more than they can likely repay. New credit offers often see smaller limits than experienced credit card holders due to their history, but certain cities and states might see different based on residents' money habits. Now, this is so important because now credit card debt is at roughly $1.2 trillion, right? But Mississippi, Wyoming, and Louisiana residents saw the biggest credit card decrease from 2022 to 2023. And look at, meanwhile, in Colorado, Utah, Alaska, Washington, and Iowa saw the smallest decreases. They say, this is from Wallet Hub, that it's due to their low credit scores, despite having second most sustainable credit card debt in America, right? The credit card companies are constantly checking the credit score. They want to see, is this person high risk? If they have a lower credit score, 500, 600s, low 700s, they're going to view this person as someone that might be desperate for credit, might be in a difficult situation, and they want to take some risk off the table, especially when you take into consideration what they're considering to do right now, the White House. They're talking about cutting late fees from between $25 to $40 if someone's late on their payment to $8. So basically cutting their late fee 75%. So why would a credit card company that is lending money, and most of the people that are not paying them are subprime borrowers, the default rate rose from 9.8% in March 2021 to 11.1% in March of 2022. Why would they want to lend them extra money if they're going to not be able to, potentially collect on that, get their late fees? They're not, right? They're going to continue to cut and slash credit limits for those that they view as high risk. So when you look at this situation, Americans fear they can't repay their credit card debt. A new poll has found that almost half of Americans with credit card debt are concerned over their ability to pay it back. The poll conducted by Redfield and Wilton Strategies exclusively for Newsweek found that 46% of Americans with credit card debt are either very or fairly concerned over paying back their spending debts. The survey has conducted on December 8th with a sample size of about 1,500 people in America. Now, here's what's happening. Americans, if you look at this Google Trends, this is just typing in balance transfer credit cards, and you look and you follow this is January. We're only on the 8th day of January, and this is already where we're at. They're looking at how much they spent for the holidays. They're looking at their credit card balances, and they're looking how can I get out of this situation? Balance transfer credit cards. Everybody's looking at this right now. And this right here is already going to break the highest until, basically 2009 for January. Imagine what February is going to do. We're going to see so many people applying for these balance transfer credit cards. Because if you can have let's say for example, you have a credit card balance of $10,000 and your interest rate goes to 0%, it won't let me put 0, so I'll put 0.05. It will take 4 years to get out if you're paying $200 a month, right? But you pay $100 in interest. These credit card balance transfer credit cards are usually good for between 12 to 24 months, depending on the card offer. So if you're able to increase it and you're saying, hey, you know what, I can pay $400 a month, and maybe I'll bring in a roommate. Maybe I'll cut something out or cut some type of expense out monthly, and I'll be able to get out in 2 years, 2 months, and basically get out of debt for a couple $100, right? This is what smart people are doing right now. They're looking at ways and how they can, get out of debt. They can bring down their expenses. They can eat really, really healthy, healthy mind, healthy body. You're going to end up making smarter decisions if you eat clean, right? This is what people are doing right now that are really looking to get ahead. Get out of high interest rate credit card debt, eat really, really healthy, reduce their expenses on things that they don't really need, and open up different relationships with different banks, lending institutions, credit card companies. Even if you're not going to go out there and take out all these loans, open up an account, put in $100, right? You get a couple secure credit cards. Spend them from, you fill up your gas tank from time to time, pay them off. Start to establish these relationships. You want to put yourself in a position to where if you need money, you can get access to it. Lenders are going to start to tighten up more and more and more as consumers nationwide start to default through Q1 and Q2 of 2024. And so the more relationships you have, the better your credit score, the more cash you have, the less consumer debt you have, the better off you will be. This situation has ramped up dramatically. When you have a scenario like we're in right now, 40 million Americans with credit card debt, or with student loan debt, 43.5 million to be specific, and 40% have not made any payments since it started October 1st. It's showing you very, very clearly. People don't have the money. People are tapped out. Things are about to get really, really interesting in this country. And I think we're going to see a situation where millions are going to be forced to fire sale assets this year. What do you think about this entire scenario? I think we're walking into the greatest wealth transfer in American history, and it's up to all of us to put ourselves in the best position possible to go out there and to buy some really, really good deals, to put yourself in a really good position, your family in a really, really good position. Drop below. Let's have a conversation. If you'd like to fix your credit, if you have any credit issues, we'd love to give you a free strategy session, a free call at GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below the video. Schedule a free strategy session. I'll catch you in the next one.